We are going to have our first inside day of the year today. Oh boy. Alrighty, we survived our first inside day and the chaos that is coming inside with an entire class. And I realized that this is chaos, so I thought I'd share with you what I do during inside recess to help me keep my sanity. Sort of. I try. Just to kind of give you an idea of what goes on when the kids are inside. So, when the kids are inside, they have a couple choices. They can always read a book. Some kids just like to read. Love that. It's quiet. Happy for them. They're allowed to read a book. I keep a bin of blank paper up by my desk. They're allowed to draw. They get out a piece of paper. They color with any of the materials that they want. My markers are open for the students. They have crayons in their box. They sit around and draw. It's great. Once again, zero involvement by me. And then the third choice, and this you could do two ways depending on what you have, is indoor recess games. So I'm going to show you what I have and what you could do if you are not as blessed as me. So indoor recess games looks like this. All right, excuse the yellow lighting in the back room, but the way indoor recess games is you have a designated spot in your room where you keep all the games. Mine's in this cabinet this year. It says indoor recess right on the front, so they know it's in there. It was used today, so it's a bit of a disaster, but that's okay. So these games were all left by the previous teacher for me. Huge blessing, I know. But you could easily have them donated, either from picking them up yourself at like Goodwill or DI, wherever you are, or having parents donate old games, other teachers, friends, stuff like that. So I have an odd assortment of things. I have this tic-tac-toe game, 2 Don't Break the Ices, Don't Spill the Beans. I have an Ants in the Pants somewhere in there, those cootie games, Connect 4, headbands, Jenga. There's some assorted card games in here. This one, I need to show this to the kids because it became their favorite last year. It's called IC20. It's a math game that I got from the dollar spot at Target, and it is their most favorite game of all time. So just an assorted amount of games, just kind of shoved in a cabinet. That's what they use for indoor recess games. So all of those games can be played totally independently. The kids just sit in the back of the room and play them. I can either be working if that's what I needed to do while they were going to be out at recess, or I can play with them if I didn't have anything I was going to be doing while they were out at recess. It keeps everybody busy and occupied in a constructive way. My first year teaching, I did not have all of those games, and I recognize that most teachers don't, or many don't. So for teachers who don't have games, this is what you can do. I guarantee that somewhere in your classroom you have a bunch of math manipulatives. These make awesome indoor recess activities. Kids love to play with the pattern blocks, the little tiles that you have. They could play with dominoes. They could build things with the base 10 blocks. So I've got like linking cubes down here. Any of this stuff is awesome for kids to play with during indoor recess. And you don't typically let them just play and do whatever they want with these math sort of things. So it's still a novel enough idea that it's fun for them. So get those out and play those. Those do get a little bit more loud because it involves like building towers and things falling over, but it keeps them occupied and you out of the way if you needed to get things done. I did used to have a Twister game, but I don't know what happened to my Twister. It smelled horrific, so we threw it away, but Twister was a fun one too if you're thinking of board games to get for your classroom. So those are my indoor recess tips to keep your sanity. Drawing, reading, and games, all things that kids know where they are, can grab themselves and just do, so you can get done whatever you need to get done, or you can participate with them if that's an option for you. And then I just ring the bell, they clean it up, and we go. None of those games are hard enough to clean up that it causes a problem for them. I've seen a lot of teachers take them out of their original packaging and put them in easier bins. You could totally do that. But having an access point for the students that you don't have to do anything with, don't do like Go Noodle and stuff like that. They don't want organized activity. It's recess. It needs to be free play for them. That's just my 2 cents. So there you go. Welcome to Inside Recess Day 2. The pandemonium continues. Alright, so we just finished our second Inside Recess day today. Yesterday we only had to stay in for our morning, like when they line up for school, and our lunch recess. Today we were inside for all the during the day things except for afternoon recess, and it was like seriously pouring hard. So not only was the rain keeping us inside, but it was also distracting us from what we were doing because I have a big huge window in my classroom, which is why I'm not standing over there because the blinds are currently closed and I'm too lazy to open them. So yesterday I told you about the different games and stuff that we do. I only do those for actual recesses. However, I've mentioned this before, we have something called track where we go and walk laps around the track together in the morning, and I didn't want to do games for that because kids need to move. They just do. We need to get some energy out, and I didn't feel like sitting and playing games was an effective use of that time. Now, lots of teachers do, and that's fine, but for me, when we come in for track, I usually try and do something a little bit more physically active because that's usually when we're running laps or walking laps, and so I'm trying to do this comparable thing. Granted, at recess they're often running around, but they can't run around all day, so we play games for recesses, but for track we do something different. Actually, yesterday when I filmed this, I was like, don't do Go Noodle. But even though I don't have a passion for Go Noodle, it could be something that works for you. Quick editing insert. The reason why I said no to Go Noodle is because a lot of times when teachers do that, they insist that every kid participate in that activity. And then it turns into, okay, why aren't you listening? Okay, why aren't you participating? And once again, it's just you giving instruction. This is recess. This is supposed to be their time. So when my kids have to stay inside, when I want them to be doing physical activity, I do Just Dance because I like to dance with them and I like the Just Dance better than the Go Noodle stuff. So I go onto YouTube and look up some songs and we just do a Just Dance to it. So we did Just Dance today. Insert clip here of me awkwardly dancing with my students. So we did that, and then I was thinking about it, and you could totally do Go Noodle if that's something you want to do, or you could do things like yoga or Zumba. I know lots of people who are Zumba instructors and teachers. That could be awesome. Basically, where I'm going with this is if you're going to be stuck inside for the entire day, try and pick at least one of the recesses to do something physically active. Save yourself and them by getting rid of a little bit of energy. Did it totally work? No. By the end of the day, we had all lost our ever-loving minds, but we did get some good stuff done during the middle of the day. So when you're stuck inside for recess, as we are, please don't let it happen again tomorrow. Then games and physical activity are both good options. Anyway, I'm gonna go home because inside recess days are really, really long, and I actually had an IEP after school, so there's that. And I'm wiped out. Also, I think I'm getting sick. Why? Anyway, if you are not already subscribed, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Comment down below if you have any other indoor recess tips for survival. And I will see you in my next video. See ya.